Good morning, good morning, good morning, and whatever time of the day it is for those of you that aren't tuning in the morning. It's a pleasure to be here, pleasure to see all of you. Let me change something on the phone here just quick. These early morning live streams, good morning, kittens. Generally the regular viewers don't make it. It's not for them. I specifically do this live stream for people that are on different time zones, and it's difficult for them to make it to the 5 p.m. live stream because they don't live in this area. Are we on the cactus today? Good morning, Asher. I was just wondering about you actually last night. You were in my thoughts, and Fox, you're generally in my thoughts. I am not on the cactus yet today, but I just woke up. Hey, Christ X Star. Hey, Canine. So you see this kick-ass light? Man's worst friend? Hello, everyone. My son got it as an early Christmas gift, and he brought it into my room, and I was like, yo, I'm using this, and watch what it's going to do. It just keeps changing and doing all this cool shit. So I thought, hey, switch it up. We all know I like to try to keep things interesting. I'll dress as an alien, dress for Halloween, and all this different shit. So I'm like, switch it up. I wore the fuck out as usual, and now I have scored a day off. Yeah, the light is epic. It's called a Bliss light, and one of the coolest things is there's an app on the phone for it, so I can control all its settings on the phone. So if my son has it in his room and he wants to use it to go to sleep, and I want to change it or turn it off, I just go into the phone. Technology is somewhat cool, and sometimes you're just like, what the fuck, technology? So, good morning to everyone. I got a lot of stories I want to cover. I was trying to think of any personal stories, but I do have one. It is pretty cool. I love this thing. So let's see. In fact, I'll point you guys up for a few minutes so you can get a better view of it as we start out here, and I'll just lean forward like this, make it all creepy. I just woke up, so I tried to just go ahead and brush my hair and get my coffee and shit. Good morning, Beanie Girl. All right. You know my neighbor across the way that couldn't keep her dog under control? I heard her outside the other day. God damn it, cussing and carrying on. I thought she was putting up Christmas lights. That's what I sound like when I'm putting up Christmas lights. So 1 a.m. Well, that's not so bad. I guess this is a nice middle ground, I suppose. I couldn't fall asleep last night. That's for damn sure. Anyways, I stuck my head out there because I was outside on that cactus. Yes, email me please, Asher. Let me know what's going on. So I look over and I said, what's up? You're doing Christmas lights? And she says, no, it's this fucking dog. And I started laughing. Good morning, Orcranch, because I'm like, yeah, it's always a fucking dog. If you ask me, there's always some problem with a fucking dog. And she goes, I just can't get him to stop getting out of the yard. So there was like the vicious end of me that was about to be like, yo, fuck you, fuck that dog, and instead, I took the high road, the Ashley works and fixes everything road, and I said, what's the problem? Because personally, I'm tired of the dog getting out. I'm sick of it. It's happened way less lately, but it's still happening. And she says, man, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of a coyote roller. If you're not from the desert, maybe not. I don't know, there's coyotes all over. I'm just saying. So she says, I was gonna buy the equipment to put up a coyote roller, but I don't have the money right now. And I said, I got all that shit. Come on, let's dig through the shed. So we dug through the shed. We got all the pieces we needed to build a coyote roller. And although I had laughed at myself when I walked all the equipment over to her yard, and she says, "Oh, come on in," and opens the gate, and I immediately, without even thinking about it, I said, "No, thanks. I don't want to walk around in the dog crap. I don't. I don't want to ruin my shoes. I don't want to be that close to all of it. But here's the stuff." And she's all, "Oh, thank you." And it didn't surprise her because she knows I don't like dogs, right? So, yeah, she fixed up that section of the fence, and the dog hasn't been out roaming around. No more cussing, no more. So that's cool. So that's your personal story of the day. I want to cover a recent story, okay, that's been going around, and I'm sure some of you have seen it. Hey, Isabel, good morning, and have some interest in it. Did you guys hear about the Terra Haute police with the dog kicking thing? Okay. Now, there are a lot of ways to defend yourself from a dog. And generally, when we see police officers defending themselves from a dog, they shoot them. Hold on, let me go grab my tissue. They generally shoot them. You know. Well, this cop in this situation, he kicked the shit out of the dog. This story comes from, like I said, sorry, I'm still waking up. This story comes from Christian. It was also sent to me by Tarcisia. It was sent to me by a couple people. And while we're on, watched it about 10 times in a row. Me too. And on multiple newscasts, which is what I'm going to show you, is the original. I'm going to show it to you, man's worst friend. So just get ready. I'll show you the original video. Okay. It's a bit longer, but we're going to get right to the meat of the matter, if you will. And then we will go on to the complaints that are going on and everything else. I'm going to pull it up on the phone. Another cool thing about it being dark in here is that you can see the phone screen better. So we're just going to do that. There's a lot of ways to do this. And I found it weird that they all complained so much, because I'm like, really, that officer could have pulled his gun out and straight up shot the dog. And a lot of times that's what I would prefer. Not because I'm some person that viciously wants to go around killing every dog I see. Hey, disclaimer, I didn't say I did or I didn't. I'm saying that's not the reason. I'm saying that the cops often use lethal force against humans, let alone dogs, right? So, they could have just pulled out their sidearm and put the dog fucking down, but he didn't. He kicks the shit out of it. One of the first conversations Christian and I ever had, way back when I first started my YouTube channel, which seems like it was just not long ago, but it was technically like months and months and months ago. And he says, like, hey, I liked him. It's like he likes I believe it's Muay Thai, a different like kicking self-defense and stuff, specifically when it comes to dogs. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I have to agree with him, because that's the first thing I go for, is like with steel toe boots. But I've always been into boxing, not like martial arts or kicking and stuff. Although I know a bunch of people that do. I have a friend who runs a Muay Thai studio, so I get it. Let me pull this video up. It's right here on my phone. I will show it to you. So we'll just start there with the original video. I don't think there's audio, although that's not important. And it's in black and white, so let's hope that it's easy to see. Let me get all up in your shit. All right. Hopefully this works out. Yeah. Just hang tight. Porch light comes on. There he goes. Now, as they're going to show some more of it, I believe, where they're talking about the situation. Sorry, it's not easy to do. You can tell how angry he is when he knocks on the door, because he's just been inconvenienced by this asshole dog. And I don't think this part is on the video, as it's about 4 minutes long. We'll let it play for a minute. But there was another video I seen where they actually show up the house, and I've got a newscast about it, so we'll get into that. This is when he's walking up to the door.
Get away from me! Get away! Get away from me! Get away! Get away from me. Get away from me.
I'd have shot him right there, personally. Is the Christmas tree okay?
Get away.
Sorry about all the barking. I know we all have to hear enough of that in our lives. I'm surprised too, Orc, to be honest. I attribute that to him either being a dog nut or fucking dog or concerned about getting in trouble. So at this point, we see he's having trouble even getting to the door. Hey, Anna.
These are not your dogs, are they? Okay.
No.
Well, they went in this backyard over here. Yes, ma'am.
Morning, Rock.
Well, they about got shot, so. Yeah, they're aggressive, so.
Well, this woman, there was a woman down here, somebody, she was captured.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Scare them. I got scared.
Yeah, I know they're pretty aggressive. So, all right. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. You want bite? You want bite?
Let's see that again.
I'll kick on you. You want bite? You want bite?
And you hear how mad he is when he goes to knock on the door the second time. And I want to point out here, he has to experience this going on this call. For some of us, live like this every fucking day. It's real hard because we try to contact people and get help, contact animal control. We're taking videos. We're making timestamps. We're calling the cops. We're trying to talk to the neighbors. If you remember, it's when we covered what you do about an aggressive dog or a neighbor's dog. They always want to say, try and talk to your neighbor. Talk to my fucking neighbor. I've tried that up and down the street. And as I've shared in my tactics, because oftentimes I don't even notice they're around until I have a really good fence. But I have all these different pictures, in my house. And I'll look and I'll see the reflection of a dog in one of them. It makes it look like it's already in my yard. And when I step out front, they're outside of my fence line, pissing and shitting all over. Yeah, sorry about the barking. I hate that. But it was important for us to hear what the officer was saying, which was, did you want me to fucking kick this shit? I'm so shocked. Like Orc said, like two of us just were mentioning that the dogs didn't get shot. He even says they almost got shot. Why you didn't shoot the dogs? I'm not completely sure. Like I said, I would assume legally it's dangerous to discharge a firearm out in the city. And as we've seen in some stories where people have went to shoot a dog, that cop went to shoot a dog and a bullet ricochet and hit someone. Then you got people who freak out about the dog getting shot, which leads me into my next story. So the Terra Haute police respond to the viral video of the officer kicking the dog. Now, as we all know with dog nuts, what they did, they didn't show the whole clip like we just seen, okay? These people took just the part in the beginning. You remember when it went straight to the meat of the matter of him kicking the dog? And that was the video they circulated around line. They didn't put like, these dogs were aggressive. He straight up got a call about aggressive dogs. That's why he was there. But he did not shoot the dogs, okay? So he's, trying to do the right thing, in quotes. Said, you want to bite, motherfucker? I know, I was dying. And he wasn't afraid of the dog, which is great. You don't want to be afraid of these things. Not because they sense it and all this shit, but because if you run, you become a prey item, and you've now turned your back to them, and they can chase you down and take you down from the back. You want to stand your ground and be assertive with these things and tell them to go fuck themselves. Matthew Lyons says, screw that, I agree. I, as a cop, would have pulled out my sidearm and shot the dog. But here we are. It was somewhat gratifying to see him shoot or kick the shit out of the dogs, but that's not stopping the dogs from attacking people in the future. And one of the reasons they were even out there was because neighbors were calling and saying, there are these aggressive fucking dogs running around. Somebody please help. Hey, here's the cops, these people that our tax dollars pay for. Will you get out here and help with the dogs? So yeah, I've heard that a lot. Good thing with mutts is winter is you don't see the mutts as much. I don't live in an area that experiences winter, so those things don't change for us. I still have a tomato plant growing. It was 80 degrees yesterday, so I don't get that in my area. I know some people say it's nice in the wintertime because you can't see the shit as much. It's covered by the snow or the leaves. It's really sad that this is the only solace we have in a dog-saturated world, okay? Yeah, I agree, Beanie. It's, just go ahead and put it down to prevent someone being hurt in the future, especially when the dogs are openly that aggressive. So let's watch the Terra Haute police respond to the viral video, okay, on the news, shall we?
Sharon McBroom has more on the video and what's next in this investigation. To Sharon.
Dana Mike, Vigo County Prosecutor Terry Modison says after seeing the video involving the police officer, his office investigated all angles of the incident. He says the rumor of a home invasion is completely untrue. On November 29th, just after 7 p.m., the Terre Haute Police Department was dispatched to a residence on the 1700 block of Ohio Street to a complaint of an aggressive dog that had been charging at everyone that goes by.
The 911 call was essentially telling the police officer, the dispatcher, that they had two dangerous dogs in the neighborhood that, this is the 911 caller's words, that have been terrorizing the neighborhood.
When officers respond,
it's my sister. Not to call her back.
They were approached by the dogs, who the police departments say showed aggressive behavior. After the situation was handled, the investigation began for Vigo County Prosecutor Terry Modison and his team.
As far as whether or not someone was intentionally abusing an animal, or whether they were doing it to protect themselves and or protect others that they were afraid the animal could harm. So after reviewing all this and looking at the statute, at this point, I've made a determination that I don't feel any crime's been committed.
What you are about to see is a small clip of what happened in the moments before from the responding officer's body camera.
Get away from me! Get away! Get away from me! Get away! Get away from me!
We've seen this.
Talked to the owner of the dogs yesterday evening, and he said that he was not filing a complaint with our office or with the police department or anybody, that he pretty much had no issue. He was not pursuing any action with regard to any of this.
As far as acting against THPD policy, Modison says this is something that would have to be handled internally by the police department. The police officer heard and seen on video has been placed on administrative leave.
For what? For what? Telling my sister. Making sure she's okay. So, yeah. For what, I may ask? They should be happy. They're not happy when they shoot the dog. They're not happy because he kicked it. They're just, look, this goes right back down, and I go back to that, hey, dump dogs. I don't know, they haven't said that yet, which is the weirdest thing. They said they talked to the owner. They said the owner's not pressing charges. For what? He kicked the damn thing. I'm going to go right back again, and I've had many people say this to me on the channel, okay? But I'm going to explain. I had this fucking weirdo, and for some of you that actually watch all the videos, you might have already seen it. It was like, you know, their grammar was terrible, so I'm going to make fun of them. How dare you, wuss, you stand not let dog attack? Question mark. Dog not hurt you. Dog can't really cause damage. What kind of sicko are you? And I said, let me get this straight. You're upset with me for suggesting that I would defend myself? And the person says, yeah, why can't you just let the dog attack you? It's not going to hurt you that badly. I'm like, let me really get this straight. You want me to stand there and allow the dog to attack you, to attack me? And they go, yeah, and let someone come catch it. I'm like, oh, okay. Good morning, Queen Cat. Good morning, Shams. Good morning, Dump Dogs and Moni Tony. Good to see you. For what, Moni Tony says, moving so much paper now. Father of family suspended too. For what? A fucking dog. I threw the fucking in. It's true. Yeah, for kicking a dog that ran up and started attacking him. He's got it on camera. He's an officer of the law. There'd be less questions if it was me barking and you know, at him, and he's like, hey, you want to bite, motherfucker? And I'm like, you know, and I run up, and he's like, you know, and kicks me, and then I'm like, you know, and I run away. Nobody would ask shit, you know, other than what's wrong with that lady and what kind of drugs is she on, you know. But if it's a dog that is aggressive on camera, he got the call about it, the neighbors are talking about it, and that's being questioned. He's being placed on leave. I'd say he was a good cop. He didn't. I agree, Matthew. When I seen this story, I was quite mind blown. He didn't do anything wrong. He could have shot the shit out of this dog, and he didn't. Okay? My sister might be driving, so I'm going to end up checking on her real quick. Because I worry, because I raised her. I'm like a mom. So, yeah, I don't get this either. Good morning, AJ. I never will. There's no need for all of this. It's insanity. Hey, are you okay? What's wrong? Huh? Oh, honey. Did you go to the hospital? Do you have a heat pack, maybe a hot and cold compress? Oh. Oh, sweetie. Do you have the day off? Huh? Did you try taking a hot bath? Did you try your hot bath technique? Oh, honey. Oh, well, I'm going to finish this video and I'll call you right back, okay? I love you. Bye. Oh, this is why I worry. My chicken, my sister daughter had cancer in her breast, and she keeps having problems, which is part of why I made sure to call her back and check on her. sorry about that, and sorry to my kid. I feel so bad for her. She's in a lot of pain. So, and she understands I do the live stream, so she got her cry out for a second, and then I'll call her back in a little bit. It's real sad. Makes me sad. Alrighty, let's jump into this, and as usual, through the cancer I endured, and the cancer my sister's dealing with, and my terminal illnesses, and the many attacks from dogs, you just push through, because that's what you do, and I'm real good at that. So we're doing it. This came from Moni Tony, and while we're on the subject, guys, I need help with articles. If you guys run into any kind of stuff, or you want to write an article, or you find a story, I need help. Honestly, I have little to no time to like do any research anymore because I'm working so much to pay the bills. So, if I don't get help, like the help I get from Christian, from Moni Tony, from Christ X Star helps out, Asher and Orc Wrench and all these different people, I won't be able to keep making this channel. I just want to be completely honest. I can't do both. I used to have like 2 or 3 days off alternatively during the week, and I don't anymore. So there's a freaking gnat in my room. So without that help, so we all got to work together to make this community possible. So this was sent, and it's called Be Careful Where Your Donations Go. I'm this very interesting and fucking disturbing, okay? I've got a few articles to support this, but I'm not going to cover every one of them, okay? So hopefully this pulls up easily. My computer worked really, really good this morning, and I was stoked. During the holiday season, there's lots of people in town, and the computers, generally, all the service tends to do terribly bad. But it's loading. It's just taking its sweet ass time. So here we go. 140 years of service, Red Cross dogs throughout history and today. Now, for people that already know, if you don't know this and this is the first you're hearing it and you're mad at me, well, fuck you. I don't know what to say. If you haven't, then let's just do this. Red Cross dogs throughout history and today. Most charities and donations are fucking scams. Okay? If you didn't know, what do they say? If you don't know, then now you know. Most of them give very little of the collected donations to the actual. You think if you're donating to Red Cross, and Red Cross is pretty fucking corrupt. But this is a dog channel, so we're not going to go super far into that end. Although, right now we get to talk about them because they are taking donations that people think are going to humans and spending it on dogs. Okay? Now I'm going to skim through this article. And they talk about World War I, okay? And, Jesus Christ. While the American Red Cross did not use dogs during World War I, several other Red Cross societies employed dogs that greatly aided the Allied forces during the war. Now, if you want to go way back in time, was one of the only times that dogs had little use. And I emphasize that heavily. Very little use. Most of them don't even conduct their trained jobs properly. They hurt people, they maim, but they had little use. Dogs were trained to bring back something that belongs to a soldier. They could access saddlebags, access first aid supplies and rations. Instead of barking and alerting the enemy, they were trained to, retrieve things. And they weren't always great at it. The retrieval method was eventually replaced when it became apparent the dogs would occasionally rip off a bandage in their eagerness to return with something from the wounded soldier. See what I mean? Some Red Cross societies train the dogs to return to their handler on an attached leash in their mouth to signify the discovery of a wounded soldier. They would carry packs of ammunition, which really, there's a reason they've been replaced for all of this. They're fucking terrible at it. Then they go into therapy dogs today. Like following World War II, the American Red Cross began using therapy dogs with convalescing service members in the Army Air Force Center in Pawling, New York. They still use therapy dogs today. These dogs and their owners in shelters and volunteer in nursing homes across the country and hospitals across the world. Red Cross animal visitation teams are active all over the world. Red Cross animal visitation teams. So that's part of what your donations are going to fund. Okay, let's hop out of this one and go into another article. Let's see what some of you guys have to say here. Good morning, AJ, if I did not say that. Thank you, Dump Dogs. Yeah, the world's unfair. Thanks, Beanie Girl. She will probably not be okay because she's all fucked, but, you know, it'll get all right. Never given to a charity in my life. Good for you. AJ, I donate directly to the human. If there's someone I know, and I'm in a couple of good communities, and I help people straight up. But I give money for that. I started monthly donations at the Farthing, canceling right now. Yeah, and do me a favor, kittens, go look, okay? Go and look. I stopped donating to any big charities. Bunch of liars. Good morning, Annabelle, and thank you for driving my point home. It's true. If you wanted to help someone, you would directly help a person. I've talked, since we mentioned my sister earlier, I'll throw her up under the beautiful charity bus. It was like every year for a long time, I would get her a coat, because she lives in the cold in Ohio. And she always gives it to a homeless person. Every damn year. One year, she sends me a picture of her with a gentleman who clearly, is hard up and living out on the streets, wearing her fluffy girl's coat, and she's sitting next to him with her thumbs up, and they're together. And I said, if you're going to start giving your coat away to everybody, why don't you just tell me who they are so I can send him a man's coat? He is wearing a fluffy lady's coat. And she's messaging back and goes, oh, he likes it. He said the fur is comfortable. Like, every year. And she'll wear tons of hoodies. Hey, that thing, nice to see you. She'll wear tons of hoodies instead of a coat. That's a good way to make sure your money's going into the right place. Be careful, okay? Oh, I think we'll skip through the rest of this article for now, and I'll retouch on it later because I have some other stuff that I want to cover. Before we go too much further, I got a whole bunch of messages from people on the phone, but we're going to do it like this. I'm going to go back to the emails, and I'm going to pull up a very interesting story. Now, as you all know, I like to keep things legal. Hey, SRV, long time no see. We've missed you. I like to keep things very legal, okay? Now, I volunteered time instead of money to big charities, and they either don't want it or want you to pay to volunteer. Annabelle is so right. If you really, dude, you guys, there are people suffering all over the place. This is like that woman Rosie, and I'm going to show you guys a picture. Do you remember the woman Rosie that was attacked by some other family member's dog? She doesn't live with a dog. She was visiting a family member, and their dog attacked her. She's almost 80 years old. We ran that GoFundMe for her. And in the GoFundMe, they even said, even if you don't have money to give, if you live in the area, we really need help building my mom a wheelchair ramp and making her home accessible because she is now completely disabled after this dog attack. Let me show you the picture of her real quick. I've really been wanting to do this and kept forgetting, and I've had it stored in my phone here trying to make sure that I did. Let me zoom in. She is finally healed up enough to open up her eyes. Look at this woman. She's still in the hospital. She still can't get up. She's going to be in a fucking wheelchair. She had to have a tracheotomy. She had like fucking 400 stitches, blood transfusions. I don't know if you still have this GoFundMe in the old computer pocketbook, but if you do, let's throw that up. This is what I tell people. If you want to help somebody for real. This lady needs fucking help. And they're straight up saying, hey, if you're in the area, and it's on a post on Facebook. Let me see if I can pull up exactly what post it was, because that would help a lot. But she didn't deserve to go through all that, and they were all desperate to get help because she, the poor woman, man. Thank you. Thank you. And if you, Beanie Girl's awesome. If you look into the GoFundMe, they'll tell you where they live. I want to say they live in like Jersey or something like that. I could be wrong. I read a lot of shit. And they were saying like, please, just anybody who even wants to come and help us cut wood, you know, so we can, they needed help. And because she's not a fucking murder Oreo or a Satan Bernard or a damnation, nothing. They made like no money. We all donated a little bit of money, okay? But you know, we've talked about this. You're not the only person who's brought that thing. I hope I'm not overreacting. My local park has a dog park that's literally bigger than the children's park. My local park is massive. It takes up a whole section of the river in the channel. And as it goes down, and they've got all this great stuff, but the dog park is like half the size of this massive fucking park that goes on for miles, okay? So let's get into this legal video. I kind of backtracked a bit, so I apologize. I like to keep things legal. I'm constantly telling people, look into the charity you want to donate to. Look into the laws in your area. Look into the specific laws in your county. Thank you, Maurice. I wish Morpheus was here. He would love this. He's always talking about psychedelics. Look into your shit. Consult a lawyer, okay? I love the legal end. Not because I agree with it or I'm happy. I like it because it empowers you. Now, I was just talking the other day about what you can do to defend yourself without getting yourself in trouble, okay? And I don't have a whole lot longer for this live stream today, as I have some plans I need to attend to. But we'll go at this for about another 15 minutes. Speaking of which, as for GoFundMes and stuff, if you want to help people, my son and I don't have a roommate anymore. And as I mentioned, I've been working nonstop to make sure we don't lose our house. So if you want to help, there's a GoFundMe for that. Also, we have the PayPal. Even if it's only $5, it helps tremendously. And I'm sure Beanie Girl will throw all that up because she's awesome. If you can't, don't worry about it. But I'm just saying, shit is getting hard out here for a bitch. But I'm making it work. Everything's going well, kind of. But I'm just saying, you want to donate to people, help that lady out. Help this bitch and her kid out. Go find someone on the street corner. Go volunteer your time, like Annabelle said. Go volunteer where the people really need it, okay? We had like 100 people show up at the senior center yesterday. It was unreal amount of people for one day. Oh, and there's Mountain Rose Herbs. So that's another way you can help. And that helps you get Christmas presents and oils. And then part of the proceeds go to us. But make sure and let me know if you do, because I have to keep track of the sales. And Dump Dogs, I understand. The prices of... Don't even get me started, dude. I can't hang. Life's getting fucked. We've cut out like all of the extra fun stuff and all that crap. We wouldn't have this cool light if somebody didn't get it for William. Are they down unprofitable cattles? Just watched a video, but dogs, this is ridiculous. A cow is taken down and dog lives with... Weird. Okay. And that being said, all of my best wishes out to everyone right now because everyone's struggling. So my love goes out to you. And although I can't hardly do anything, if any of you have anything I can do to help, be it emotionally or pitching in that $5 or whatever it is, let me know. Everybody's feeling it, eh? I like how you threw your Canadian stuff in there. That was fun. So, all seriousness aside, let's get into this. This is information from Dog Bite Law. I've heard IHD talk about them. I've talked about them several times. I love Dog Bite Law, okay? It's important for you to know legally, okay? So you can come at these people if some shit goes down and say, hey, fuck that. But just remember, even that cop just got into trouble for not even shooting a dog. So keep that in mind when you think you're going to be able to defend yourself. All right? This video is called, Can You Kill a Dog? Figured it was highly appropriate for this channel.
One of the most troubling questions that I'm asked is whether or not you can kill a dog. There is one answer I can give that probably works everywhere throughout the United States, and that is that if the dog is trying to kill you or kill a person, and you have no other alternative, yes, you can kill the dog. That probably works in every state. The laws on self-defense are different from state to state. Generally, eastern states require that you take evasive measures when confronted with a deadly attack, whereas the western states permit you to respond with deadly force quicker than the law in the eastern states. But here's what the problem is. The first one is a problem of proof. How can you prove that the dog was engaging in a deadly attack? How are we going to prove that?
Could I just stop to say real quick that the cop had proof that he was being attacked on his body cam, and he's still being put out of work temporarily?
If there are witnesses, you can, but suppose it's only you and the dog. Here's the other problem. What is it that you're going to kill the dog with? See, if you kill the dog with your bare hands, or you pick up a stick, or you pick up something and you defend yourself that way, there's not going to be a problem. But suppose you're in a city that has a law against carrying a concealed weapon, and you don't have a license to do that. If you're carrying the weapon, they can accuse you, the prosecutor can accuse you of violating the law against carrying the weapon or possessing the weapon. In some cities, there are laws against having, for example, semi-automatic pistols that carry more than 10 cartridges. So suppose you have a clip in there that has 17. You can be prosecuted for that. You can be prosecuted for discharging a weapon in a public place. You can also be prosecuted if that bullet or one of the bullets ricochets and hits somebody else, because they will say that you negligently killed somebody. So the problem is not really whether or not you can kill a dog. The problem is, are you killing the dog for the right reason? Namely, it was trying to kill you or another person, or incidentally, livestock on your property, farm animals on your property. Second issue being, what is it that you're killing the dog with? Is it legal for you to have that weapon, to be carrying it, and to be using it where the incident occurred? These are very troublesome questions because the penalties can be huge and the consequences can be huge, because if you don't do it, you or another person might die. Very, very tough one. I suggest on something like this, you talk to a lawyer in your own jurisdiction who can tell you about the nuances in your own city or county or state.
Important stuff, people. And we're going to start doing more polls. So I just threw a poll up on screen. I want to start doing more of this. I actually follow another channel where they do a lot of polls. And I really like the polls. Okay? Now, the question being, are you physically, prepared to defend yourself from a dog? Like, are you strong enough? Can you breathe? Do you have asthmatic conditions? Do you have the intelligence, the ability? Can you physically or legally? Yeah, I want to start doing more polls. Polls are fun. They get people involved. And I really need to start doing more of it. Good morning, Christian. That thing, I agree. I personally don't care for cops and they choose to have dogs. They enter private property and get attacked. That's on them. Right. And in this situation, though, those dogs don't belong to the yard of which they were walking into. It was someone else's house. Okay, so the dogs were roaming at large. Now, this is a mixed bag. All right. I'm not a huge fan of the cops, but I also understand that they're doing what they're doing. They have a reason to be there if they're being called for an aggressive dog. Okay. So you don't carry pepper. What about a taser? Okay. Yeah, and we can quote polls. That's true. That's true. Oh, my bad. I didn't know that. It's all good. I'm in the UK, so definitely no. Yeah. Yeah. It's rough on people. Some people don't, and most of you are already saying, we have a group of a bunch of chicks. It's mostly women on a Signal app. And they were all carrying on one day about how their tasers are illegal too. Then you know what? Do what Four-Legged Plague suggests. The hornet or wasp spray. Right in the eyes. Okay? Do polls. Yeah, I'm I don't have a community tab because I don't have enough subscribers. They used to have a community tab. Okay? And then they took it away, and now it's this and that, so I need to start looking. I want to start doing some polls and asking people some questions and getting people involved. And I'm stunned to already see that, more of you are saying no than yes. And I feel it been an 11-year-old girl. Exactly. I feel that a lot of you feel that you can't defend yourselves because of the fact you can't carry a weapon. Into places like the UK and Canada and stuff. I can't carry a weapon for different reasons. Not many weapons, okay? It's a complicated story. But I get creative. Steel toe boots, the wasp and hornet spray, stuff like that. And I'm physically fit. I mentioned this to Tarcisia one day. I said I'm going jogging and exercising to stay physically fit to fight a fucking dog. Okay? I'm ready to fight a fucking dog if I have to. So the laws, knife laws, yeah, are so confusing. I just don't take a chance other than a small pocket knife. Actually, I've heard about the laws in Michigan. I have a past, all right. I'm not ashamed, and I talk about it. I've been arrested 14 times in one county. I had a really, really, really hard upbringing as a child. And as a young adult, I started fighting everything. Everything. I've fought dogs. I've fought men. I've fought women. I've fought the cops. I've fought with myself. I've never, ever been in trouble for theft or any drug charges. No seedy shit like that. But I have been arrested for fighting more times than I'll ever. 14 times in one county for years now. But I'm still dealing with the repercussions of my past actions. Okay? That's going to happen. I'm not a fan of the law, but I also understand that I live in a place and those are the rules. And you know what? Our poll is 50-50 right now. We are tied. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and end this poll in a minute. I fought the law. Yes, I did fight the law. That was the last thing I was in trouble for. So, so let's end this poll. I like to keep things very clear. I've had people threaten to dox me, okay? And, remember, guys, for the poll, it's all anonymous. So I ask a question that you're like, oh, I don't really want people to know. It doesn't show me or anybody else who answered yes or no. Completely anonymous, okay? So people threatening for all this doxing and stuff like that, I like to laugh and say, well, you don't have to be good at your job because I tell everybody. What about my dignity? The owner will watch from aside me fighting his pet beast with my bare hands, lying on the ground covered in blood. I don't want to be a gladiator fighting lions for my life. I agree. You shouldn't have to. I have rats in my yard and use poison to control them. My yard is not safe for wandering dogs. Orcrinch makes a great point. I'm going to be wrapping this up soon because I got some shit to do this morning. My neighbors did not care when I came outside and said, don't let your dog shit and piss along my fence line. They didn't care about that. My neighbors didn't care when I said, hey, it's your dog. Keep it in your own fucking yard. Keep it away from there. Okay? The only time any of them cared was when I started opening the door and saying, hey, I lay poison up and down my fence line. It's dangerous to dogs. They're, oh, Fluffy! And they pick it up and run away, and the dog never came back again. Up until then, I'd seen it almost fucking once a week along my fence line. Orc's got a point. Now, in some places, you can put out signage, and you're encouraged to put out signage legally. In fact, some places, it's illegal for you to put down poison for insects in your own yard that could hurt the dog without having a sign up. I'm not even allowed to do shit in my own fucking yard without a sign that warns you to not let your dog illegally trespass on my property and get poisoned. Ugh, fuck. You know, we kind of went off track once or twice, so I didn't get a chance to get into like Morpheus's story and stuff, which I'm sad about. But you know, maybe I'll do one later since I've got the day off. Let's see. Christian says, trying to figure out people didn't do martial arts, emphasize kicking such as Taekwondo and karate. I agree. Hey, self-defense is important. Okay, so get out there and do something. Okay, I think some people are overwhelmed at the idea of training in martial arts for a number of reasons: time, money, physical ability. And you know, like we said, people are struggling just to get by financially right now. So, you know, the thought of spending more money on different things is overwhelming for people. I would love to be in a couple different classes right now, and I just can't. I thought about starting some classes in my extra house, right? But then I'm like, no one can afford them. Everyone's fucking broke right now. Oh, yes. Everyone, please send some love to Beanie's daughter, whom is having surgery tomorrow. Thank you for the reminder, Beanie. I've been pretty worried about her. I'm worried about Megan. I'm worried about all these damn kids. But people allow dog in their yards that kill kids. Waking up, I've got some shit to do around here. So apologies. We might come back to this a bit later. Connection's unstable right now anyways. So much love to all of you. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a dog-free day. Wear your steel toes, get your wasp and hornet spray. There's two things they can't take away from you. Okay. Kittens, I went to look. I need to look and see if you sent me those links. I've got a lot more shit to cover. Until next time, fuck Fluffy. And from the bottom of my dog-hating heart, I appreciate every one of you. Fuck dogs. Appreciate and enjoy everyone being here. The live streams are always great. We're going to start doing more polls and interacting with everybody. That's another thing you can email me if Beanie will throw up the email. Email me poll questions. What do you want answers from the community about? Any help right now is appreciated. I've been so busy from morning till night. Okay? So, please do that. Email me with your stories. Blasphemous ass pictures. I've got more of those. We'll do another live stream today. I've got way too much shit to cover. So, thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself. Please email me with any of your poll questions or anything else. And fuck Fluffy.